Uh, Good evening, everyone. Can anyone confirm if I am audible?
Yes, Ishan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're audible.
Good evening, everyone. A lot of students have doubts. Some of you have make some mistake and your accounts are suspended. So we are going to resolve all these issues in this session. So first of all, raise your hands who have suspended their account. Those who did something wrong and their account is suspended. Raise your hands. Please raise your hands, otherwise we will not be able to like solve your issues because your whole quick lab profile is suspended. Niranjan, can you unmute and explain me what you did, Meghna? Okay, one by one. Niranjan, tell me what you did. Meghna, can you unmute and tell me what you did in the lab that your account is suspended? Without that, we will not be able to solve your issue.
Hello.
Yeah.
Like I got the mail and all, but I didn't get any credits. Like solved that lab and all, but
You didn't get any credits, right?
no.
So wait till the night. You will receive. We are working on it. A lot of students in other colleges also didn't receive it. So we are working on it. You will receive it soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Those who have suspended their account, guys, please unmute. Otherwise, we will not be able to solve and you will not be able to continue in this program. It's okay if you guys don't want to share. We will not waste our time because others are also here. They have their own issues and we are here to solve them. So guys, if anyone has an issue, you can unmute and ask. And soon we will start our first lab because a lot of students are facing problem. So I will demonstrate one lab. Yeah, Sumit, you have something
Okay,
to
one
say?
sec. 1 second, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is this Ganesh? You sent a message that account has been disabled. Can you speak up? I can see a participant named Ganesh S. Please unmute and tell us what problem are you facing.
Ganesh, can you unmute?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
I'm not facing any problem.
But you
Sumit?
sent a screenshot, right, that says your account has been disabled.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay, this group number 3, Harish, note down this number. It's recent one. If at all you text later about any issues.
069 at the end, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, he sent me also the same. And he is in all the three groups that we have. So it was initially told that you have to join only one group. Okay, so if you guys have no other doubts, I will quickly start our first track. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is your quick lab profile. Make sure you log in on this URL. On the main URL also it will work. Okay, no issues. But when you go to this page, 30 days of Google Cloud page, here we have program syllabus. And here is the syllabus for track 1 and track 2. So we will start with track 1, skill, first skill badge. That this is actually a quest. So it has a collection of different labs. So let's start it. So this is the first quest, named create and manage cloud resources. These are the details here. This is how this skill badge will look like. It will be added to your profile. To complete this, you need 14 credits. You don't need to worry because most of you, very few are left. Those who didn't get the monthly subscription, those who have monthly subscription, they can start. And some of you have already completed. It's very good, and they have completed the quiz with 100 out of 100 scores. Also, like someone sent me screenshot. So the tour of Quick Lab and Google Cloud. I guess almost everyone has completed this one. Okay. So we will start with creating a virtual machine. So this is the user interface. And first of all, let me clear this. Those who are doing this program on their smartphone, guys, it's better that you leave because it's not going to happen. Even I received some messages that we are doing it in desktop mode in mobile browser. It's not going to work because soon you will see there's a need for Cloud Shell, SSH, and all. Those things are not going to work in mobile. And ultimately, I know someone sent me screenshot. She completed this creating a virtual machine lab. She submitted the quiz 3 times, but it's not submitted. Her score was 0, and you cannot attempt this lab more than 3 times. Otherwise, you have to contact us, and we have to give you permission to reattempt this lab. So before starting this lab, and like this lab is not like you click on start, you read this, and at the end you submit the quizzes that are given here. Okay, it is not like this. So this is a continuing quest. You will see here some quiz, and see this is a quiz. It is not like that you simply go through all these instructions and based on this you find the answer and you submit it. It's not going to work. Whatever the commands they are asking, whether you enter or not, it is tracked inside the environment. So make sure you see here is an option, create a new instance, check my progress. If your progress is not tracked, you will not get your score. So there are different tasks inside this. So we have 40 minutes of time. I will quickly show you how to do this. So in the beginning only, there is a clear instruction about how to set up. So first of all, this is the overview. Compute engine. Compute engine lets you create a virtual machine that runs different operating systems, including multiple flavors of Linux, Debian, Ubuntu, SUSE, Red Hat, and CoreOS, and Windows Server on Google infrastructure. Basically, inside the compute engine, you can create different number of virtual machines with different configuration like 2, 4, 8, 6, n number of gigabytes in RAMs and n number of TVs of storage, and you can also customize the number of processor cores you want, and there are options for different type of processors also, so that also you can pick. In this hands-on lab, you will create a virtual machine instance of various machine types using the Google Cloud Console and the gcloud command line. So basically, I will explain what is gcloud command line. It is Cloud Shell. But before that, you will use a graphical user interface, that is using the web interface that is given, which we call Cloud Console. You can call it console or whatever you want. But make sure you are on the right place. You will also learn how to connect the Nginx web server to your virtual machine. Suppose you, who is that? So suppose you want to set up a server and deploy your website. Now you definitely need a server, either it is Apache, Tomcat, Nginx. So here we are going to show how to deploy Nginx in this, and your progress will be tracked. So what will you do? Create a virtual machine with Cloud Console. Second, you will create a virtual machine with the gcloud command line, and then deploy a web server and connect it to virtual machine. So these are the three tasks we are going to do. Prerequisites: familiarity with Linux text editor such as Vim, Emacs, or Nano will be helpful. So Vim is hard. Emacs, even I didn't try. People use it, but it is like very old. Nano, it is really easy, and these days it comes pre-installed, and in Fedora 34 it is a standard, and by default it is their default text editor, right? So Vim is not there. You can install it later, but in Fedora you will not find Vim in the latest version. So we will go with Nano. I will show you how to use it. Setup. Before you click the Start Lab button, read these instructions properly. See, even this setup instructions you have to read multiple times. Go through it, because I know a lot of you will make mistakes. Note, if you already own personal Google Cloud account or project, do not use for this lab. If you are using Chrome OS device, open a incognito window to run this lab. See, if you don't have your account linked to Google Cloud also, then also I will recommend that you use incognito tab. So quickly, let's start the lab. See, I have my username, password, and GCP project ID. So quickly, I will share my whole screen so that you can see. Yeah, is my whole screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will open a new incognito window. Let's go here, right click and copy link address. Now I will paste this link and press enter. From this URL, it will automatically pick our user ID. If it is not there, you can always copy it from here. So as of now, I will copy my password. Since this is a temporary password, I can show you, and it is also better that you make sure you are entering correct password. So you can see in the URL console.cloud.google.com. This is our cloud console. This is a graphical user interface to interact with the cloud infrastructure provided by Google. And we will use this repeatedly and across different services to complete the labs and to learn what are the services provided. Okay. So let's quickly go here. These all the steps I have already completed. Activate Cloud Shell, click through subsequent pages, accept terms and condition. See, if these options are not there, if you didn't get any pop-up to accept terms and condition, you can simply ignore this. Activate Cloud Shell. So on the top right, you can see activate Cloud Shell button. See in the bottom, here's a Cloud Shell terminal. What is Cloud Shell? It is like a separate PC provided to you. You can run VS Code also in it. We can do that also right now, but we have limited time. So I will show you in coming labs. that how to use Cloud Shell. And once you start using, you will never use this graphical user interface. You will open this Cloud Shell and you will directly do it. So don't, whatever I'm going to tell now, don't do that with respect to this program. But if you are using cloud infrastructure, you can access this Cloud Shell on your smartphone also in the Google Cloud Console mobile application. So till it is preparing, let's go to, it will ask us to continue. Then you can list the active account name with this command. So let's copy this. So it is recommended that you type it, but we don't have too much time, so we will copy this. It's still loading. The next step is you can list the project ID with this command, gcloud config list project ID. So this will be the output. This is the sample output format, example format. Then let's understand what are regions and zones. So certain compute engine resources live in a region or zone. A region is a specific geographical location where you can run your resources. Each region has one or more zone. For example, US Central 1 region denotes a region in central United States. It has zones US Central 1, 1A, US Central 1B, US Central 1C, and 1F. So these are the different regions and different zones. So what is the main purpose of doing this? Like there are some companies which are very strict about the data of their users. So Google Cloud provide you facility to keep their data in their country. You can check any nearest region or zone, or suppose there's a European region. So in Europe, suppose whichever the zone is nearest to your audience or your consumers, you can host your services there. And it is also important, for example, if your Netflix show is hosted in United States and a lot of Indian fans want to see this, so the latency will be very high. They have to stream it over USA to India. But if it is hosted directly in India, latency will be very low. Cloud Cell is taking time. So task 1, create a new instance from the Cloud Console. In the Cloud Console, on the navigation menu, follow these instructions. And I will simply go to this. Let's go to Compute Engine and VM instance. So this is the interface. Cloud Shell is temporary, and so we will start it later. Create a new instance. Create instance. See guys, if you are doing other than these instructions, if you are doing any other command, your account will be suspended. That is the very first reason behind the suspension of your account. So there are many parameters you can configure when create a new instance. Use the following for this lab. So if you are not entering these, your progress will not be counted. Okay. So this is GCE lab. Let's copy this. Name of our instance will be GCE lab. Then region US Central 1 LOWA. You can always go to the documentation page and you can read more about all these terms. So see, you can see here lot of details available. So you can always go through it. And there are different type of machines, different type of CPUs and resources. Other resources like GPUs are also available. Let's quickly select US Central 1 and zone is US Central 1F. US Central 1, US Central 1F. It is like already selected. Series N1 2 vCPU. Series N1 N1 stand. This is an N1 standard. Two virtual CPUs you have to pick. So here you can see this is two vCPU is available here. So let's select this. Then you can change this also. You can add your graphic processing unit also if you are doing some machine learning stuff. And boot disk. So this is our hard disk from which our virtual machine will boot. So let's go to boot disk and change it. It is 10 GB by default. 10 GB balanced persistent disk OS image Debian Buster. So this one is already selected, Debian Buster and balanced persistent disk. So there are different type of disk. Extreme persistent means this is a very high quality of disk. Then this is SSD, persistent memory, and then this is standard persistent disk. So there are different capacities available in this. SSD is very fast. Extreme persistent this is going to be a hard disk drive, but again its durability will be very high. And this is balanced, like you can say that it is average between. And you can always read more about this in the documentation. So as of now, all these parameters are set by default. Let's go to firewall, add tags and firewall. Allow HTTP traffic. Why? Because later we will deploy our Nginx server. Let's click on allow HTTP and HTTP is both. It's not going to make any change. And that's all. Click create. Here you can see creating instance. Task 2, install Nginx server. In the SSH terminal, go to get root access. To get root access, run the following command. Yeah. So once this is prepared, let's wait a few minutes. Here also in notification you can see create VM instance GCE lab and its boot disk GCE lab. Let's see quickly how much time we have. We have only 28 minutes left. So this is ready. Now click on SSH button. Now you can see we have a terminal active here. This is called SSH terminal. In our Linux workshop, we will cover what is SSH. As of now, it is more than enough for you to know that you can access the terminal of the virtual machine hosted on the Google infrastructure from this tab. You can over this web interface you can access it. It is also a web interface of a terminal. So first of all, we will get our root access. After this, we will run this command to update all the binaries. Then we will install Nginx from this command. This will be the expected output. It may vary according to the version or different ISO image that boot disk image that we select operating system. Confirm Nginx is running. This command will list the process status of Nginx. See, this will be the expected output. So Nginx master process, the location and its daemon is on, and this is the different parameters of the data. I will turn off my video. I just like due to low network. Yeah, it's open. So what is our first command? Let's see. It is sudo su root at the GCE lab. You are now the super user. Like, you are the administrator. See, whatever you type, it will take a slight delay to reflect here. We will update. Nginx. This Y flag is whenever we install something from command line, it asks whether to proceed yes or no. So Y flag means you can directly install without any prompt. Now let's copy this. I will make it show as tab. Yeah. Now from here we can directly. Can you unmute? Sorry, can you mute? Okay, so we have installed it. Let's check the status. Yeah, you cannot right click on this terminal, so you have to use the keywords shortcuts. So this is the expected output. It looks similar. Now, to see the web page, return to the cloud console on your machine in a new browser window or tab. So here is our instance. This is our internal IP. And this is external IP. So whenever you see the details, you can simply go to this address. See, welcome to Nginx. So we can see that our Nginx server is ready. I will simply close this tab. I will go back and click here, check my progress. See, and here you can see my score. I got 50 out of 100. One of my tasks is completed. Now, task 3 is create a new instance with gcloud. So here we have to see. We will go to Cloud Shell. See, instead of using Cloud Console to create a virtual machine, you can use the command line tool gcloud, which is pre-installed in Google Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell is a Debian-based virtual machine loaded with all the development tools you need, Git and Python, everything. Like if you check the documentation, it is a complete computer that is provided to you. So in the Cloud Shell, use gcloud to create. Gcloud is a tool. Like you can locally also install it in your system. It is a part of Common Labs. gcloud compute instance create GCE lab 2 machine type N1 standard 2 zone US central 1F. So you can see gcloud is our tool. Compute instances uh, is our parameter that will define that inside the gcloud you have to go to the compute engine, and then you have to create an instance, then create is a command to create. You can have this remove, suspend, restart option also here. Then this is the name, machine type N1 zone, and zone is US Central 1. So these are the parameters. So we will copy paste it in our cell and press enter. Authorize. Click on authorize. To check your progress in this lab, click check my progress below. Okay. So this is the output. Name is GCE Lab 2 zone preemptible. This parameter is not passed, so no value is provided to it. Internal IP and external IP status running. So you can directly shut it down from here also. Now let's check our progress. Assessment completed. The new instance has these default values. It is Debian 10 Buster. To see all the defaults, run. See, this is the list of the parameters, what like network tier, resource policies. These are the default values that are available here. To exit help, press Ctrl plus C. These are the flags that you can follow with this gcloud tool and manage all these things. For these things, for example, do disk size, do disk type, then can IP forward, confidential compute, create disk. For example, if you want to create a new disk inside your virtual machine, you can use this. You can export the documentation, and we will also cover it in the coming labs. So whenever you press Ctrl plus C in the terminal, it will take you out of this help menu of the running application, right? So in the cloud console, on the navigation menu, click compute engine VM instance. Your two new VM instance will be listed here. So let's click here. Let me refresh this page. So you don't need to refresh the whole page, otherwise your this progress and all will be lost. So if you want to refresh this, there's a button to refresh this. So it will refresh only the portion of this web application. So you can see GCE Lab 1, which we created using console, and GC Lab 2, which we created using our Cloud Shell. Quickly, let me check how much time we have. Okay, 18 minutes we have. We can export a little bit. Now you can also use SSH to connect to your instance via gcloud. So this is the gcloud compute SSH GC Lab 2 zone US Central 1F. You can omit zone flag if you have set the option globally. For example, you have select zone globally, then your virtual machine, different instances of the same data will be available in different regions. So it doesn't really matter from where your traffic is coming to your web service or whatever the application. So I pasted this command from here. So check out compute SSH, paste it. Do you want to continue the private SSH key? There's some warning. You can skip it. Click Y. And press enter passphrase. Empty for no passphrase. Basically, this is the password for you. I will press enter. Warning permanently ended. And do you want to continue? Yes. Enter passphrase. It's all done. Now we have to exit. Test your knowledge. Through which of the following way can you create VM instance in Compute Engine? Gcloud command line tool, the cloud console. You have to select both because we have seen that it is possible from both the interfaces. I submitted and finish your quest. So these are the next labs that you have to do. This self-paced lab is a part of Google Cloud Essential Quest. A quest is a series of related labs from a learning path. Completing a quest earns your badge, all this common stuff. It will be available at the end of every lab. There are some other that you can go to these links. If you want certifications, you can check the certifications here. And this manual last updated on July 23rd, 2021. Lab last tested on July 23rd. Okay, so these are the basic stuff about the lab. We don't need to care about this. So after you finish the lab, make sure you click the end lab button. Always do this. End lab, all done. If you end this lab, you will lose all the work. You may not be able to restart the lab. If there is a quota limit, are you sure you want to end the lab? Yes. So before ending, make sure you have your score complete here, right? Submit. You can give the feedback. I was not going to give any feedback. You can close the tab. Now, if you will go back, see green tick here. This lab is completed. So in this lab, we had two options: either use Windows or Linux. In this one, they will ask you to create a Windows server with the RDP protocol, so you can see the Windows screen here. So getting started with Cloud Shell and Gcloud. So this next lab is all about your Cloud Shell. So there will be a lots of commands and everything will be on terminals. So don't expect any graphical user interface. Maximum you can suppose that in graphical user interface you will see a button that you will use. All the rest of the things that are available on the cloud console, you will not use it as per the instructions. And if you try to use other things, either there will be a restriction or you may end up with a suspended account. So this is all about how to complete a lab. You have to first you have to do it on a desktop or laptop. Second, you have to follow each and every instruction. Third, make sure you use incognito tab. It is mandatory step. Otherwise, you may like what happened. I in other colleges, some of the students clicked on the mail, their quick lab account opened, and it automatically detected their default this account, whatever your Chrome is synced with, and they end up getting credits on the different profile, which was not registered there. Now they have lost this opportunity because ultimately they are not going to, because on the profile that is submitted to Google, they are not able to track the progress because there is no credits, and they are not able to redeem that credits again because that link can work only with one profile. You can't redeem it multiple times. So I hope no one from our chapter did this mistake. Okay, so I will stop sharing screen and we will go with the Q&A. Okay, before Q&A, Pranav will explain some basic steps about uh, Google Cloud. So Pranav, go ahead. Over to you.
Thanks, Ishan. So, good evening, everybody. This is Pranav Durai. I am a core team member at GDSE CIT Bengaluru chapter, and today I'd like to share some few points about. I'd like to share some few points about the Google Cloud architecture or the general cloud architecture, and some of it's behind the scenes. Okay, so I'll just share my screen for a sec. Please confirm if my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, sure. Okay, so let's see some behind the scenes about Google or basically the cloud architecture. So what is cloud, how it works, and what is behind this console, how everything is working, and how everything is managed behind the scenes. Okay, so let's dive in. So in today's session, you might have seen the Google Cloud Platform console. This is what you would see. This is nothing but a web application. Okay, it is a user interface or a GUI interface, which is given to users like you people to manage each and every function that is offered by Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so what is a user interface? Like you might have learned about this previously, but in today's session, we did see some command line interface, okay, the CLI, command line interface. In a command line interface, we just give commands to the system with which it performs certain operations, okay? And all of these operations are given through commands. Like we updated the OS with sudo apt get update, it updated the OS components and the binaries, right? Ishan just demonstrated that. So if you give some input in the form of commands, it executes some functions and it gives you some output and it does some operations. But then not everyone is well versed with command line interface. So that is why we have a graphical user interface such as this one, which is the Google Cloud Platform console, right? You can see, you can monitor multiple things over here, such as the project info, some of the resources. For example, we checked out Compute Engine today, and there is also BigQuery. We'll be learning in future sessions about it. And you have the Compute Engine. We can see at what time and at what performance this is, at how much CPU utilization this Compute Engine is taking. We can see various APIs that are active. We can see billing types. We are also checking some errors which are getting occurred, and also we do have the documentation session over here. And also we have the navigation bar, which gives you a side pan view of all the functions that you can use with the Google Cloud Platform, right? So what goes behind the scenes? This is what you see as a user, as a Google Cloud Platform user and a learner, of course. So what happens behind the scenes? So let's dive in and learn that. So this is the general cloud architecture, okay? So I've just made it in a basic way, but really informative. Just hear me out. So when you have a web browser, such as will be Google Chrome over here, I'll just take an example. You'll log in into your Google Cloud infrastructure, your Google Cloud Platform, and this is the client infrastructure, the dashboard which you saw in the previous slide. This console, or a dashboard, you can call it whatever you want. We'd be calling dashboard over here. And this is the dashboard that every user will view, okay? This is the first view that you get, which is also the front end of the cloud, okay? You might have learned previously about front end and back end. Front end is the main user interface that you see when you run a web application. And also the backend is the server side scripting or the server side applications that are running in the server, which you won't be able to see. Okay, you'll be only able to see as a user the front end. Okay, so we have the client infrastructure, the dashboard, and through your internet connection, whether you're using a geo or a dial-up modem or fiber optic or whatever it is, through your internet service provider, you'll be able to access the Google Cloud platform. So this is the cloud architecture. Okay, so how the system is split across into multiple components in the cloud area. Okay, so over here you can see this is an example. This is a cloud server farm in the USA. Ishan previously showed us various regions that in which the servers are located based on preferences of users. So this is one of the server farm that is located in the USA. Okay, so this entire thing exists in this place. Okay, so we can also see that the main chunk over here is the application. Okay, so why would you use cloud computing? The main reason is you want to reduce infrastructure costs for server maintenance in your own company, right? For example, if you want to build an app and let's say at first week you have 1 or 2 users, and then at the second week you have 10 users, after a month you have 100 users. But then due to this increase in computation, your server which you have is not able to handle all these requests. Why? Because it may not be able to handle those many requests because its compute power will be very less, right? So what would you do? You would again buy more servers, you would configure more servers and get more compute power because your users are increasing and your app needs to work. It shouldn't slow down. So how much will you keep increasing your server? Because it takes up a lot of space. You need to give it power. And there are also a lot of maintenance costs which are involved in this kind of an architecture, and it's very hard to maintain a server locally. Okay, so that is why you prefer a cloud computing architecture, right? So your main application, instead of deploying in your local server, you'll be deploying it in the cloud, which will be running in some farm somewhere which you choose. Okay, the region, based on the region, right? And so this is the application part, right? This is the block which contains your application, the block where you have deployed your application. Now below these, there are some sub components which make all of this work seamlessly. Okay, so services are some of the external third-party offerings from any cloud service provider. Okay, so in our example, we have Google Cloud Platform. There are multiple services that GCP offers, like AI and ML based services, vision based services, database services, and also multiple big data based services, and etc. Okay, there are multiple services, right? So you can also stack up these services on top of your application. Okay, so you can take advantage of these. Infrastructure, in the main infrastructure component, it defines how all of these components work hand in hand, right? You can't just stack up one service on top of another service and another service on top of another service. It needs to be configured in such a way that each component is able to communicate with each other in an efficient way, right? You don't want to mess it up. Next, you have cloud runtime. Why do you have cloud runtime? Does anyone want to type the answer in the chat box? Why do we need cloud runtime? Why do we need cloud runtime, or what is cloud runtime? Anyone? Yes, Vishwa Patel, that's the right answer. Basically, we want the cloud infrastructure or the cloud provider to charge us for only the time when the application is running. Okay, for example, let's say you have a food ordering app. Okay, you made a food ordering app and you want you will deliver food to your users. Okay, So let's say I am a user and I order some food from some restaurant, and only when that processing is going on, only when that instance is running, the server costs or the cloud costs will be affected on my account. Okay, otherwise it's going to be zero. Only when the cloud compute is running, only when the compute resources are in use, we'll be charged for our usage. Okay, so this cloud runtime keeps a track of that, right? So that's cloud runtime. Now, what is storage? See, when you have an application, you definitely need storage. Okay, now why do we need storage? The thing is, let's take the food delivery app itself. We took an example of me as a user, that is just one person. What if there are lakhs of people using your food delivery app? Okay, you need to share, you need to store so much of details about each and every person. Let's say me itself. Okay, my name is Pranav, and I have a mobile number. Then I need my email address, I need my home address, my college address, or my work address, or let's say I'm in my relative's house. I want to store that address also, and my GPS tracking location, what and all orders I have ordered in the past, in which orders did I give a 5-star rating, in which orders I didn't give 5-star rating, in which our orders the delivery was late, so on and so forth. You get it, right? There's a lot of data concerned for just one user itself. So what if it scales up to a lakh or more than a lakh number of users? So you need storage. So in GCP, you will definitely have dynamic storage, which means it doesn't have a fixed point. You can the component itself will dynamically increase its size based on how much data your app is generating per day, and it will adjust it so that there is no problem or errors which occur. So that takes up this storage component, right? So on beside of all of this, you have this security component, right? So what does this do? You want to be able to keep your application secure. You don't want third party people or users, or within quotes hackers, to access your storage. And we might have you might have heard about data breaches that have occurred in many apps before, where tons and tons of user data has been leaked, including credit card details and sensitive information. So we want to be able to make sure that our storage or our data is secure at all the times. Okay, so that is why we have a security component over here. And the main component is the management component. It manages all of, as the name suggests, it manages all of these components and makes sure that this completely runs efficiently without any issues. Okay, you want to be able to give access to different people working in the app for different services. For example, you have a team of 5-6 people. You can definitely allot 2 people for services, 2 people for storage management, 2 people for infrastructure. Based on the number of team, you can also give access to different people, and you can manage the cloud infrastructure for your specific app, right? So this is the front end. You just see a console over here, which shows you some information, and at the back end is what everything happens, and it's like magic. So I just wanted to take this moment to share this with you, and I hope this this small session was informative, and you understood something out of it. So yeah, thank you and have a great day. Over to you, Ishan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pranav. Yeah, so now I would like to go with Q&A session. If you guys have any doubt, please unmute and ask. We all are here to answer. can see a lot of messages. Yeah, very informative. So guys, now you can raise your hand, you can unmute, or you can put your questions in the chat box also. Should we attend only one lab per day or we can attend as per our convenience? So guys, don't send direct messages, send in public. It will be helpful for others also. So you can do as many as possible in a single day. There's no restriction. If you are able to complete whole track in one day, go with it, no issues. But make sure if you're not understanding something, you don't simply click here and there. Try to open a new tab and Google it, and you will definitely find some solution. Or you can PM us if we are not able to respond in time. Then that is also an issue. But try to Google it, and you will definitely find the solution. So there's no restrictions. You can complete. I have been quick lab in incognito now. Earlier I completed it in normal window. When I went for create and manage cloud associated to quick lab, and Gcloud is not showing turn as it showed for you. Okay, so did you attempted the quiz? Just in case if anyone missed a day session, can you please help us with the recording? Yeah, all the recordings will be available on the YouTube channel. So you submitted the quiz. So please check if you have monthly subscription or like others you also did. Your credits are in different account. Please check. I hope this is not the case. So Ojasvi, Mukul or Sumit, can anyone put the YouTube channel link in chat box? Everything is in the same account. Should I attend it again? Yeah, you can attend it again. Yeah, so guys, the link to our YouTube channel is in the chat box. You can go to our social media handles. For example, there's a link in Instagram bio. You can always subscribe to our channel from there. Next question. So it's 7:16. We will take question till 7:30. After this, we will wrap up the session, and after around 30-40 minutes, we will upload the recording. Would you do sessions for all the lab the same way as today? I will try to do, but I have my trainings also, and maybe I will miss few labs. So make sure don't be totally dependent on me. And yeah, I came to know that whatever I was doing, few students are following it, and they entered wrong credentials. Whatever I was entering here, they entered it there also. So don't do this mistake. Follow all the commands and credentials that you can see in your dashboard. I will try to do all the labs in the live sessions. Do we have any time restriction until when we can attend a particular lab? No, there's no restriction, but before 27th October, you have to complete both the tracks. You can attend today's lab, which create a virtual machine on 26th also. But if you're not able to complete both the tracks, you will not get your certificate and other perks that are mentioned before. So guys, at least try to do one or two labs per day. Sumit has a good strategy, I guess. Sumit can tell how to complete a track in a 1 day. Sumit, can you give some hints?
I don't think the labs and the quest were really difficult that you would have to face any obstacles. So it's easy if you read it through carefully. What I suggest is instead of starting the timer and reading through the lab, give it around 15-20 minutes. Read each and every line properly. Google everything that you find a bit difficult, and once you're sure that yeah, it's easy. Actually, it's easy, but once you're confident, you can start the lab and you can glide through it.
Yeah.
The timer says 45 minutes, but I was able to finish each and every lab within 10-20 minutes.
Yeah, so it is
So it doesn't,
good practice
it's
to
not the case that it'll
explore.
take you 1 day for one quest.
Yeah. Just in case we make a mistake, can we retake a lab and credentials won't be lost? So in case you made some mistake or you went out of time, you have to end the lab or automatically it will be closed and you will not get your score. So you can attempt a lab maximum 3 times. After that, um, you have to contact me, but don't come to that situation. Please complete the lab within 3 attempts. I have already completed 2 quests on 25th after getting the credits. Will there be any issue? Yes, there is an issue, big issue. We have already mentioned in the group that don't attempt any lab other than the tour lab. Are you Abhijit? Are you there in group? Because the badges or the labs that are that are completed between 27th September and 27th October are only counted. Okay, let's see. In case they are not counted, your track is not reflecting as completed. Contact me. I will send you some details about workaround. So let's wait till the end. Now keep completing the quests. Right. Other questions, guys. You can unmute also.
Sir, I am a bit beginner, means I am not familiar with a lot of these terminology or things. Uh, can I do the lab session in the given time?
So what Sumit told, use that method. Open your page. Don't click on start lab button. First read all the instruction from top to bottom. Read out everything. And there are links also provided to the documentation. You can explore documentation also. Once you are confident that yeah, I know what is this thing, how it is going to work, then for start the lab and attempt all the quizzes and follow all the tasks, complete all the tasks. Can't unmute right now. You, oh, okay, okay. It's not issue from my side, it's from your side. No, no issues, no issues. Do we need to complete the remaining labs under Cloud Essential as well, or directly start with the tracks? No, no, no. See, go to our page. 1 minute. I will send a link. This is the official page of 30 days of Google Cloud. There is a section for syllabus. Go there, open the links from there. Okay. Quest links are available on that page. So follow that. So Cloud Essential is
Everyone,
different. Yeah, Sumit.
the link that was just put right now, events.with. Whatever it is, you
Yeah.
just open it and bookmark it.
Yeah, exactly. Bookmark it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. My name is Vishwanath. Actually, I was checking. Actually, I was late in joining because I went. So, how to get started? Because I am also a fresher. So how to go about it? I have done all the registration. So I have that. I went to Quick Labs. So how can I do the first lab? Like,
we have,
and supposedly, which lab should I do first?
see, there is a track. Okay,
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
that track,
I went through the syllabus.
yeah, you went through the syllabus, right? So click
Yeah.
on those links and it will
Okay.
take you to the page.
Okay. Great.
Suppose you click on the first skill
Yeah.
badge, that is
Create
getting
and
started.
manage cloud.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
below
I've
you
clicked
scroll
on
down.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, tour quick lab, then create a virtual machine
Right.
or
Right.
compute engine quick start windows. There are two options, you can do both
Yes.
or you can do either one. Okay, then so there's a list of how many too many labs are there, so you have to complete all the labs to finish that quest, and you have to complete all the quest to complete that track. So
Okay. And to get this 14 credits.
not credits, these
Okay.
credits are different thing. These are the
Okay.
like subscription amount, like there's a token for it.
Right. 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 I got it.
You don't need to worry about the credits.
And within how much time we have to complete all these I mean these courses, which is in the first chapter, like?
So I will suggest you both the tracks should be completed before 27th October, because 27th October is the last day. You have to complete
Okay.
both the tracks. But I
Okay.
suggest that before 10th October, you complete the first track.
Okay. Great. Sure. Thank you, Pranay. Thanks.
Now, so we have 5 minutes left. I want to tell you guys few things. Now, this recording will be available on the YouTube. We will send the link in groups. Make sure you subscribe our YouTube channel also, and connect with us on our social media handles. Uh, Everyone will share also. We will share it, right? You can connect with us on LinkedIn. You can tag us whenever you complete a quest, you get a badge or you learn something. You can simply like take the screenshot of the completion of your lab and post it, write few words about it, tag your facilitator, instructors, whoever is helping in our team, tag them. And what Ojasvi Ishan has explained. Oh, okay, this is Hari's answer. So guys, tag us and share whatever you are learning, and make sure you mention the hashtag 30 days of Google Cloud, right? This will build your social resume. Like people will came to know that yeah, you have done something and you have some hands-on experience, because not everyone is going to open your profile, right? You can put it in resume, the HR is going to open it, but rest of the people are not going to open it, right? So you can create a post after completing the first lab, take a screenshot, post it on social media, write a few words. Like you can also write an article that I have completed this lab and this is how we proceed, these are the things. And in case you are exploring the documentation, you learn few other things, you can mention them also. So make sure you build your social resume, connect with us, tag us, right? So this is all I want to say. And at the end of the session, after 8 p.m., you will receive a feedback form. So make sure you provide us feedback. It is really going to help us, and we will keep improving the quality of our sessions. So I will put my LinkedIn link in the chat box. All the core team members, please put your LinkedIn in the chat box. Yeah, we request everyone to work on GCP with the laptop or PC. See guys, don't do this with mobile phones. It is not going to work. You will open the lab, but your progress will not be tracked. Your quizzes will not be submitted. There are a lot of issues that are going to happen. And yeah, make sure after you complete the task, you click on check my progress. If you are not clicking it, It will not check, it will not automatically update it. So everyone please connect with us, be in touch, right? And suppose like Pranav explained few things, so you can write few lines about it and you can tag him. I help you completing labs. Sumit told few tips and tricks, like before starting the lab you can read all the instruction, go through the documentation, and then you can proceed. So these things are going to help your build your social resume, and it will help us also. So that's all about this session.
Ishan, can you add the WhatsApp like joining link in the chat box, because few people want to join the WhatsApp group and they have not received the link yet.
uh, Mukul, can you please put the link tree link here, because all the links are available there. So you can go to the Insta handle GDSC CIT, and there you will find the link in bio. Mukul will put it here also. See, WhatsApp group link is here, group 2 and group 3. So guys, first try to join group 1, then 2, and if both are filled, then join 3, because group 3 has very less people and group 2 has like capacity left. Okay, thank you guys. So we will wrap up with this session. We will inform you when we conduct our next session. And keep, yeah, keep uh, keep completing your labs and quest. Make sure everyone complete uh, at least quest 1, this essentials of cloud basic 1, before we conduct the next session. Although you can message us in the group, guys, please message only in group, don't DM, because if you face any problem, there are high chances that others are also facing the same problem, right? And it will help them also. We don't have to answer the same question repeatedly to different peoples, right? So make sure, it doesn't matter how, like how silly your question is, how stupid mistake you made, like there's no issue. Everyone is new to Google Cloud platform here, so don't worry about it, no one is going to judge you. So make sure you post your questions only in WhatsApp groups. So how many of you will complete this first skill badge, create and manage cloud resources, before 30th, before 30th September? Raise your hand. How many of you will complete? Don't worry, I will be conducting few sessions about it, and there's a one challenge lab also. For that, I will definitely do. But okay, 43, 44. That's a good number. 50, 51. So after 30th, I want at least 50 posts on LinkedIn to tag me with the badge. You have to share your badge on the LinkedIn and tag us, right? Mention us in your post. Okay, great. So I will be conducting sessions on this first skill labs, but you also try to complete them by yourself. And if you have any doubt, you can ask in groups. Okay, so I will end the session now. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.